enormous respect for, a man who's given most of his life to fighting for his community on many campaigns and has been invaluable on all of them. A man we need to listen to. Can we please welcome to the microphone Mr. Parry Thomas.
Thank you, Shane. One of the key things I've learnt is I've become an absolute cynic about this whole system. The system's corrupt at every level. Political parties are anathema to democracy. And I've actually never, ever sat with a politician, and Jackie, I'm pulling you out of this because we haven't had this discussion, but I've never sat with politicians or bureaucrats who, when discussing strategies, discussing policy, discussing legislation, have ever asked the question, is this in the interests of the citizens of our state? Ever. It's always been in the interests of the financiers, the opportunity for the next job as a politician, the bureaucrats, and the property developers very often. You know, you've got to live a campaign, you just can't visit it occasionally. It's got to become part of you. You'll be denigrated. You'll be absolutely publicly crucified if you stand up and fight them. They hate being fought. Vested interests and those you're campaigning against will be well funded and will organise opposition community groups. So it wouldn't surprise me that a pop-up group will support development in Mona Vale. We had this a lot in the hospital, where doctors who had vested interests, and by vested interests I mean bought land at French's Forest, formed community groups with other people to try and denigrate our stand and our actions. The other thing is you're up against consultants these days. Consultants whose only interest is the vast billing they can achieve by working for government. And you're up against them because there's no one left in government who's capable to make any rational judgment. From the time I started being involved in government, which was when I was in my business life, I dealt with a lot of government departments over a long while throughout Australia. And the reality was there were some great people in these departments. I even did a job for Angus once, and there were great people in that organisation. We used to criticise public works. I remember my dad criticising public works. You'd count them leaning on the shovels in the ditch. The reality is public works had talent, had skill, had knowledge, had everything you need to provide infrastructure and services to the country. They decided to privatise everything. So we sold everything off. We privatised things out and we gave it all to consultants. So there aren't even people in government, in bureaucracy these days, who are capable of deciding what's needed, let alone coming up with a plan to get it. And we absolutely outsourced planning. We gave it away. Who do you think makes these decisions? Who do you think makes the state significant decisions? They're property developers. It is, look, you've got to fight them. You've got to fight them hard. You have to be angry about it. You've got to get active. You've got to participate in campaigns or you just get out. If you can't do that, we can't achieve anything. And the only way, the big problem in Australia is we're apathetic. You know, we love our country, we love our beaches, we love our environment, but we kind of struggle to get off our backsides to participate. We love community, we love our friends. We have children, adult children, young children, but our children who have no time. So we geriatrics have to be the people who step up and consider their future. And that's what you're doing here. You know, the comment about planning was interesting. Over the past 25 years, billions of dollars have been given to political parties in donation that we don't know who it came from. It's hidden. Billions. It's not small amounts of money. The Centre for Public Integrity, they did an analysis and you know, the hidden money of political donations. And while it is illegal in New South Wales to donate, to property developers to donate, there are many ways that can occur in the background. Many ways. And it still does. You know, when we took on, let me talk a bit about hospital because it's very relevant here. One of the things we found is that every piece of information we were given or provided by health, in those days Northern Area Health, Northern Sydney Health, was incorrect. And in a lot of cases was outright lies because the objective had already been set. The end result had already been set. And all we were was a pain in the arse trying to stop them do what they wanted to do. Now, what did they do? First of all, they wanted to sell the land. That we saved. We mightn't have saved the hospital, but we saved the land. They wanted to privatise it. The beginning of that push for privatisation of health. You ended up with a privately run hospital that had less public facilities, less public services and less public beds than you had before they started. At the same time, population has grown significantly, way beyond what they told us they'd grow, way beyond, and it's going to grow even more with what's happening now. They completely ignored the fact we are a location that is holiday loaded. The numbers of people that come here in beaches, and I bet that's not talked anywhere in their bloody planning, the numbers of people who come here during holiday peak periods and use the services, got to cater for them, got to be part of it. So while they've done that, we're a catchment for this hospital, by the way, of health in this area of around about 300,000 people. When you add the actual catchment for Northern Beaches Hospital, it goes to almost 400,000. So because it moves west by putting it there. It was all about taking pressure off Royal North Shore, not giving us health services. Now, Sunshine Coast, what did they do? They did it differently. And what they did differently was they built a level 6 tertiary hospital, co-located with a private hospital. However, all of the other hospitals they had, they actually rejigged, regenerated. They have 5 public hospitals, 3 or 4 of them delivering acute services, i.e. theatres, emergencies in their catchment area. They kept them. What did we do? Yeah, we bulldozed them. If you drive out of this area, head over towards Randwick Way, you pass 4 or 5 level 5 hospitals on the way. The people at Palm Beach are driving as far to that hospital as if they lived at Bondi to go to that hospital. That's the stupidity of this system. And you talk about the need for infrastructure. You need an acute hospital in Mona Vale before this crazy development is even considered. That's absolutely essential. The other thing I'm going to tell you is that I am all for getting into Macquarie Street. The thing that my great friend here, Shane, taught me, and he definitely did, I tend to be fairly, I don't know, conservative on some things. The thing he taught me was that you've got to have mongrel in this game. And you not only have to have mongrel, but you can't afford to get embarrassed or feel silly about what you do. You have to get out there. You have to hit them where they cannot stop you hitting them. the numbers we pulled into Hyde Park and dragged down Macquarie Street, that we've had people in coffins in the front of Parliament House, you've got to do it. You've got to do what gets attention. And that is absolutely critical. And you've got to do it with numbers. It's a numbers game. Numbers influence people. We put 6,000 into Rat Park for a rally. Preparing another rally, we were going to fill, we reckoned we could have filled Brookvale Oval. And about a week before that rally was due to start, Craig Knowles came out, who was the then Minister for Health, and made a public statement and a guarantee, which they lied about, that upgrade Mona Vale, upgrade Manly, and keep those two hospitals in addition to whatever else was done. Now, of course, what happened? That was leading up to an election. It's pressure. You're leading up to an election. Apply pressure. The other point that's really important here is, while we have Jackie, who's absolutely on our side, on your side, she's not beholden to any political party. She's only beholden to you. Right? The rest of them are beholden to the political engine of which they're part of. They have obligations to the party over their community. They shouldn't. Parties aren't part of our constitution. Parties are created for power. So you need to be able to put pressure on places where the local member is vulnerable. Now that means go find some Labor seats that are as pissed off about this as you are. Make sure they turn up at Macquarie Street. Fill Macquarie Street. Now, everyone's going to try and stop it. They've tried to stop everything. They've neutered council powers. They've neutered ICAC. They even make it harder to do your protest rallies, but you can do them. Make sure you do them. Make sure you do them, and we'll do everything we can in our power to help. So we're here, we'll support, keep at it. Thank you.